It was a short-lived television phenomenon in the mid to late 1980s. A smart alecky but handsome private detective pairing up with a bankrupt ex-model trying to make a go of the Blue Moon Detective Agency was the premise for Moonlighting. The show was created and fueled by writer Glenn Gordon Caron. Right out of the gate, Moonlighting was fresh, intelligent, comedic, and romantic, while daring to alter the standard formula previously seen by television detective shows of its time. Join me, Steve L. Greenfield, as we take a look back at what made Moonlighting so unique and likable. Glenn Gordon Caron had previously written an episode of Taxi and a few episodes of Remington Steele, as well as co-produced a handful of episodes to the latter mentioned. The network approached him to come up with a new show idea and have it be another case-solving show. He felt this was not his specialty, though, even though he had written a few episodes of Remington Steele a few years earlier. He decided if he was going to invent a detective show, it would have to be on his terms, and he would need to make it different and unique. Sybil Shepherd got her big break in the movies, appearing in the 1971 classic The Last Picture Show, directed by Peter Bogdanovich, whom she later shared a relationship. She later had a supporting role playing against a muddled Travis Bickle, aka Robert De Niro, in the 1976 Scorsese film Taxi Driver. Caron noted that when he wrote the character in the pilot, he was actually writing it for Sybil Shepherd. She read the script and decided it was something she wanted to do, leading her to be cast. Bruce Willis was relatively unknown when he was hired to do Moonlighting. He worked as a bartender at Chelsea Central in the Upper West Side of New York and went under the nickname of Bruno while waiting for his big break into show business. He played an extra as a courtroom observer in the 1982 Paul Newman crime drama The Verdict. Glenn Caron wanted him from the beginning and had to fight the network to make it happen. Elise Beasley and later Curtis Armstrong rounded out the main characters, the latter of course appearing as Booger in the 1984 comedy Revenge of the Nerds and in Risky Business. Elise Beasley brought a bit of eccentric fun to the cast in her portrayal of receptionist Agnes DePesto. Curtis Armstrong's character, Herbert Bert Quinton Viola, played as a sidekick to David Addison in later seasons. Madeline Hayes. Here's what we have learned about Maddie. She is a former model whose accountant embezzles all of her money, leaving her with nothing but bad debts and a few failing businesses. One of which is the City of Angels Detective Agency. After a successful first adventure with Detective David Addison, they recover missing diamonds, and Addison talks her into keeping the agency open to embark on further case solving. We know she is in bed at 9:30 every night, as was shown in an early episode. We know she does not believe in God, as comes up in the episode In God We Strongly Suspect. This is much to David's disappointment, who even angrily confronts her about it. David Addison. We learn that David is happy-go-lucky, loves to drink and have a good party, and he makes jokes about almost anything. His serious side is interesting, as he can become very childish, throwing tantrums as seen in The Sun Always Rises, where he gets an attitude with his father and turns on all the water spigots in the bathroom to drown out the argument. And in Comeback Little Shikska, where he loses his temper about Maddie leaving and crashes her car in the office garage. David has an older brother named Richie, who is a bit of a failure, but seems to have a similar sense of humor. Their father, David Sr., played by the late Paul Sorvino, ends up marrying a much younger woman with whom David Jr. once had a one-night stand. Agnes DePesto. Eccentric but sweet secretary who rhymes everything when answering the office phone. Always in a good mood, except for a few times when she went off on David. Passionate about Herbert Viola, who was later hired as a temp employee. There were a few episodes that focus only on her and Herbert, with Maddie and David either only being background characters or not in the episode at all. Herbert Viola. Hired as a temp employee in Season 3 and becomes Ms. DePesto's boyfriend. It takes him time to warm up to her, though. He can be a bit annoying, but does add more character to the cast. Most amusing is his rivalry with fellow office colleague McGillicuddy, played by Jack Blessing. Recurring characters: McGillicuddy, Juergens, and random office workers who seem to change every season. As mentioned previously and in later seasons, there is a rivalry between Viola and McGillicuddy, which escalates while David is in jail and Maddie is in Chicago. They mend their rivalry at the end of the series finale as McGillicuddy fatally succumbs due to not having any lines left. Now let's talk briefly about some of my favorite episodes, starting with the pilot, which set the tone for the show. The pilot sets up the story of how Maddie and David met and became partners in detecting. DePesto, looking a little pale, is always funny, and the climax with the broken ladder is quite a nail-biter. Moonlighting premiered as a mid-season replacement on ABC on March 3rd, 1985, and as good as the pilot was, it was only just the beginning. Gunfight at the So-So Corral. The first season is good, but they had a few shows to go before they truly hit their stride. The alley scene and David getting shot put across the bar by Tony Burton from the Rocky films are my favorite scenes in this one.
There she was, just walking down the street singing, do what did it, dum did it do. That's what you say. You're gonna blow it for miscongeniality. Hey, my man, all right. Now this man has his attitude down pat. Long time no see. Yo, you remember me, right? Sure you do. Oh, me?
What is your story, man?
Me? I was born in a little town just outside of Philadelphia.
The Next Murder You Hear. This is one of my favorite episodes. The whole car chat about boinking and that Maddie is always in bed by 9:30 is good writing. We learn, in fact, that she is in bed by 9:30. Addison's bar shenanigans are extremely funny as well. The dialogue is just great. The next morning when Maddie finds him hanging on the back of her office door is a wonderful payoff to the scene.
I make you stiff and tense because I'm the only person in your life.
Huh.
What, are you denying it? Are you saying there's someone else in your life? Are you denying the fact that you're not in bed alone every night by 9:30?
There are plenty of people in my life. Plenty.
Name one.
I will not.
Because you can't. Because there is no one. Because you're repressed or obsessed or one of those S words. That's why you're not going to take this case. This great case.
I'm not listening to you.
Because it makes you crazy to think that anybody out there is boinking when you can't.
I can't hear
because
you.
it makes you crazy that the whole world
Not
is
a
out there
single
boinking. The
world.
whole
Not a
world
single
except
word.
you. Boink.
Shut up.
Boink. Boink, 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 boink. Boink, 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 boink. Can't you
Stop
hear
it,
that?
David.
Boink, boink, boink,
Get out of my
boink,
car.
boink, 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 boink.
Get out of my car. Ow, ow.
Was it something I said?
I hate you, David Addison.
You have your arm around me. Does that mean we're going steady? Does that mean you're picking up the check? Hey, don't take this the wrong way, but you remind me of a Pontiac I used to own. What's that?
Coffee.
What for? I didn't order a donut. Hey, these are the jokes, folks. Is this thing on? Tough room, huh? Relax, guys, I'm fine. Just gonna go make a phone call. Later. Can I have your baby? No, of course I can't. That's a trick question. Bring me 2 of anything in a tequila family. Oh, my God, they dropped
David,
the bomb.
What are you doing here? Why are you hanging on my door?
Cab driver kept trying to put me in a chair, and I kept sliding out.
Brother, can you spare a blonde? Season 2 starts with a good one as we meet David's older brother Richard, who's a bit of a schemer, and by happenstance stumbles across hidden gangster money under the hood of his car. When the gangster comes calling, he mistakes David for Richard and dumps his head in the toilet. There is also a small rift in David's relationship with Agnes, which shows a more serious side of both characters.
It's really none of your damn business, and I would sure appreciate it if you just shut the hell up about it and crawl back into your cage, okay? Okay. Hello?
Mr. Addison?
Yes?
Mr. Addison.
Hey, come on, pal. We're in the toilet. Call me Dave.
You have something that belongs to me.
Not in here, I don't.
This is no time to play games, Mr.
You're
Addison.
right. We should be in study hall boning up for that math test. Now, if you just step aside and let me out of here. All right, fine. Fine. You want to play it that way? That's just fine with me. But I got time on my side, pal. At some point, Mother Nature's gonna make it so you're gonna want to be on this side of the door. And then when that happens, let's see how tough you are.
I don't think you understand, Richard.
Wait a minute,
I don't
my
think
name
you
isn't
understand,
Richard.
My name is Navarone. And that $100,000 that you found and been spending so freely from Philadelphia to California is mine. And I want it back. You understand that? Tell me you understand, huh?
Understand?
You get busy and you round up that money. Because the next time, we ain't gonna have time for drinks.
Mr. Addison, what happened to you? Were you in a fight?
Damn right. Some guy forgot to lift up the lid. I hate that. When Maddie left, did she mention where she was going?
I'm not speaking to you.
Yes, you are. I just heard you. All right, Agnes.
No cute apologies. I don't want a cute apology. You were mean to me, Mr. Addison, for no good reason other than that you were in a bad mood. And that stinks. Lots of times I'm in a bad mood. Lots of times. But I'm not mean to you. You think because you make more money than I do that you could just be mean to me?
No, I don't.
That's all. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Agnes. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Really. You're a dead man!
Beg to differ with you, bro.
Richard, why are you fighting? Richard, David!
You give!
Richard, David!
Shut up!
The Lady in the Iron Mask. This was one of the creepy episodes and one of the first to have a chase at the end. In the original broadcast, the William Tell overture was playing during the chase, but in the DVD release it was changed.
Anybody want to play Twister?
The dream sequence always rings twice. Ah, the black and white episode. This is definitely a fan favorite and was actually filmed using real old-fashioned film and cameras. The opening with Orson Welles is a delight, and unfortunately he passed soon after recording that intro. The shot of David in the hotel window playing his sax is really cool too. The score was built around the random finger positions that Bruce Willis did, so it looks like he's really playing it. I like how Maddie's dream represents the MGM detective stories while the girl is always the victim. And David's dream represents the Warner Brothers stories that have narration and the girl sets up the guy for the murder.
I always play my horn with my shirt off, late at night, by an open window next to a flashing neon light. I know I look good that way. I was thinking about Rita. I wonder what she was doing and who she was doing it with. Just couldn't get that dame out of my mind.
My Fair David. I think this is my absolute favorite episode. After catching David and the other employees doing the limbo on office time, Maddie bets David that he cannot act like a mature adult for a week. The dialogue is snappy, and the scene of David mocking Maddie behind her back is in the best traditions of what makes the show so great.
Good extension. Impressive leg control. The muscles contract, the tension builds. The smell of an armpit, the roar of a crowd. Is this a great moment in sports or what? Hiya, boss. Back from the dentist so soon? Limbo higher now. Scoot, 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 this guy.
Do you know what hurts the most?
Sure, you get a pimple on the inside of your nose, then you get a cold and you gotta blow
That's
it.
what I mean!
And people say we're not alike.
Mark my words, maturity is its own reward. Couple of days of acting like an adult, you wonder why you didn't do it sooner.
I already am.
Knowing her. We see more of the serious David Addison in this episode. He runs into an old girlfriend played by Dana Delaney, who turns out to be using him to cover up murdering her husband. When Maddie and David talk at the same time, it's always funny, and the hearse chase at the end was one of the better climaxes.
Anyway, she was going to marry this guy, Kevin
I
Fargo.
already knew that.
She wanted me to be her maid of honor. And I wanted to be her maid of honor. But I said no, because I knew she shouldn't marry Kevin Fargo. I told her so. So that ended that friendship.
Which brings me to another thing.
Years later, I heard she caught Kevin polishing his
wants to get
silver
away.
with the housekeeper,
Get
which
out
is
of here,
actually a long way of saying
She
I've
owns some
blown
land
more
up
important
north.
friendships than this.
And what with me
speaking
being
my
an old
mind.
friend and her being by herself,
So
figured
here it is.
it wouldn't be too much of a
I
problem
have
for
this
you.
bad feeling about Jillian. I don't know
Can't see how it
why.
would be since
Maybe it's because she's
you're
left you
always
once
telling
already.
me.
Maybe it's because she's going to become very rich.
Much of
Maybe
anything ever happens around here.
maybe you're right. Maybe I'm a little jealous.
I think I'm gonna go with her.
I can't help it.
You must think I'm pretty stupid, huh, Maddie? What does this look like up here, a hat rack? Don't you think if the guy had been dead before she shot him, I would have noticed? Listen, you little green-eyed snake. There was
Little
one
green-eyed
bullet,
what?
and prior to its insertion, the man was alive.
2 bullets dead.
One bullet alive.
2 bullets dead.
1 bullet alive.
2 bullets dead.
Alive.
Dead.
Alive.
Dead.
Alive.
Something the matter? You're mistaken. David, there were 2 shots. 2. I know, I pulled the trigger.
Yeah. Well, I know. I heard the shot.
David, it was dark. It was crazy.
Yeah, but I do this for a living. What are you, a career killer?
You hate me, don't you?
What?
What's that?
Nothing. It's just I'm gonna die, that's all.
You're out.
Portrait of Maddie. This is another creepy episode that revolves around a painting of Maddie that men are literally dying over. The wall in the studio are actual photos of Sybil Shepherd when she was a model, and the climax in the garage with the spilled paint is another wonderful way to wrap up a good episode.
Hey, what the hell are you doing out here? It's the middle of the night. Ah. Hey!
Nathan!
Run! Hey, lady! Lady, can't come in here! Hey, lady, you can't take that.
I didn't know they had squid in this neighborhood.
Hey, hold it, come on, man. Hold it! Get your net in here!
Will you tell me, why is it I'm always the one to get messed up? Thank you.
Well, I guess that's that.
Guess that's that. Tell me one more time about the poor slobs that live for me.
You keep wearing that much makeup and they're gonna lose interest.
Atlas belched. In this one, Maddie is contemplating selling the agency, which sends an angry David out for an early bar visit. He runs into Phil West, played by Mark Lynn Baker, who is in need of help after some merchandise was stolen from his employer. For me, the highlight of this one is definitely the chase at Thornton Wellman's office.
I'm going to have you thrown in jail. Building security. This is Thornton Wellman. I have an emergency, a burglar in my office. Hold it right there, young man. You're a fraud. I'll see you behind bars. Stop that man!
Right there. Catch him! Hold it! Where is he? Hurry! I see him! Do it!
Twas the episode before Christmas. The first of only 2 Christmas episodes that they did. This one features Richard Belzer as a gangster in search of a mother and her baby. The mother's name, of course, is Mary, who smokes Camel cigarettes, and there are 3 police detectives in it who are all named King, to give you 3 kings. David mimicking Maddie is always funny, and the toy battle climax in Maddie's living room is inventive. The episode runs short, so the cast and crew can sing the first Noel off set.
You at least owe her the courtesy of listening to her story. What are you doing?
I'm doing what I should have done all along. What I wanted to do originally. What I should have done last night. Stop that, David! I'm calling
The police station.
Hello,
police?
I hate you!
You think this could be the Christmas episode?
You know, it just might be.
Couldn't be the Christmas episode. There's no snow.
Sure. Call them again. You go through them, turn them over. If they buy, if they buy the Bible,
The first Noel, the angel did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep, on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel.
In God, we strongly suspect.
The Bermuda Triangle.
And this is a decent episode, but what stands out to me is David and Maddie discuss mysteries of the universe, and God being one of them. Maddie quietly admits she is an atheist, to which David becomes disgusted.
Well, now there you go. There's a good example. God's a good example. God defies explanation. You believe in him. Everybody believes in him. Hello? Don't tell me.
Then don't ask
You
me.
don't-
I warned you.
How can you not?
David, I don't think we want to have this discussion.
Oh, okay. I get it. This is just something you say, right? This is just something you say to people, right? I mean, deep down. Deep down. I don't believe you.
What can I say? I don't believe in...
Don't say that!
David!
You don't have to say that, even if you think it. What do you want to say that for? He might hear you. I don't get it.
Keep this up and I'll give it to you.
I mean, if anyone, anywhere, ever had a reason not only to believe, but to be thankful, I mean, he's giving you beauty, he's giving you brains, he's giving you me.
Allison! Let me out of this door!
See what happens when you tick off the big guy?
Witness to the execution.
All of the above.
This is another of my all-time favorite episodes. The old man's opening dialogue is not only well written, but well acted. Gives me chills every time I see it. After David is framed for the old man's murder, he shows up at Maddie's house confused and upset. I always enjoy seeing serious David Addison. Thinking the best option is for David to run away, he and Maddie share their first real kiss in this episode.
Don't you?
Maddie.
I'm trying to run a business. In a business-like way.
Maddie.
And you show up looking like a landfill.
Stop that, will you?
I am 90 years old. Born on the 4th of July, 1896. My first memory is as a little boy, what must have been New Year's Eve. My family taken me to a special dinner in Baltimore. And I remember there being a sudden pandemonium outside. The clock must have struck midnight. People shouting, screaming, thrilled and terrified. We had been delivered to the 20th century. I remember the first time I saw an electric light bulb. First time I saw an airplane in the sky. I served in World War I. Served again in World War II. I was married 47 years. I have 3 children. They have children. Their children have children. And their children have children. I have lived a life.
I killed him.
What are you saying?
I'm saying I killed him.
Listen, you didn't kill him. I don't agree with what you did, but you didn't kill him. You just didn't save him.
No. No, that's not it. I did it. I killed the man.
I don't understand.
There's nothing to understand. I couldn't go through with it. So I go to his room to tell him. He's not moving. So I go over to the machine to make sure it's on, and I turn it on when the machine, nothing happens.
David.
I feel like I have this hole in my belly.
You didn't mean to do it. It was an accident. You have to go to the police. Tell them
what? Tell them what? That a man came into my office and asked me to witness his own murder? And a funny thing happened on the way to the scene of the crime?
It isn't that black and white.
Isn't it? I'm a detective, Maddie. I know a little bit about what convicts a person of a crime. Fingerprints, prior association with the deceased. An eyewitness who saw me crouching over the dead body.
Camille. Season 2 ends with an interesting episode that included Whoopi Goldberg and Judd Nelson, who seemed to steal the show, with David and Maddie being more in the background. The best part of this one is the studio chase, and that they acknowledge the season is over and have to quickly wrap up the plot while the set is being dismantled.
Are you a good guy or a bad guy?
I'm a bad guy.
Yeah, me too. How about a lift?
Agnes, where are you going?
Home. I'm through for the day.
No, you're not. You're in your seat.
Well, I guess that's that.
You think so? How about this scenario? I shoot the four of you. Then I wipe my prints off the gun. And I put the gun in Camille's dead hand.
I don't know.
I don't think that's gonna work. No, I
Quiet! And now... Hey, what are you doing?
Sorry, babe. We're on a very tight schedule here. Props got to go back in the prop room, you know? Excuse me,
What are
fellas.
you doing?
Hey!
Oh,
Limousines are here.
Who's taking my car? What is this?
Wait a sec. Wait a sec. We haven't even finished the story. I don't know. I don't know what happens to my character.
All right, ho. It's all right, ho. Maddie and I have done a ton of these. We'll explain what happens, all right?
Tell me about
This is how it ends.
Okay, you see the light. Promise to mend your ways and become a better person.
Well, that's the way it's gotta be. That's the way it's gotta be.
You go to prison. You get your law degree. You write an incredible jailhouse novel. They make a movie about it. De Niro drops a lot of weight. He plays you.
De Niro, huh? I can live with that.
It's Goldberg, Mr. Nelson. Your limousines are waiting.
Thank you very much.
Oh, it's so kind. Oh, good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'll see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming by.
Bye.
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 The sun also rises.
David, I want you to see a doctor.
The season 3 premiere introduces David Addison Sr., played by the late Paul Sorvino. It serves as a serious venture for David Jr., as his father is tying the knot with a much younger lady with whom he had a one-night stand. David's childish behavior peaks out during an argument with his father when he turns all the faucets down to drown all the yelling. He is so distraught over this, even he gets drunk in Maddie's car in the garage. Pretty good start to the season, as I love seeing serious David, and we get a lot of that in this episode.
Are you coming out or am I coming in?
Do you want to let me in on what this is?
You know what, Dad?
This.
This what? What? What's this? I felt sick, and I came in here, and Maddie was concerned, and she came in.
So you crawled around on the floor.
Wait a second.
I mean, it's a load of crap.
Wait a second.
It's really a load of crap.
I
What
felt
is
sick
with
to my
you?
stomach.
I traveled 2,000 miles
I
to
didn't
come here
want
to
to
show you
get
my
grow
new wife.
up
You leave
in
me
the
there
middle of your
standing,
party,
saying to
all right?
people, you want to meet my son.
Are you not gonna
Yeah,
listen?
They
Is
say,
that-
well, where? I say, that's the jerk crawling around on the floor.
Oh,
I mean,
good, Dad.
what is
Let's hear
this? What is
Good,
it with you?
Let's make some noise, all right?
What are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm making some noise, all right? So that your friends at your party don't hear you yelling at your son. That is what I am doing, all right? That is what I'm doing.
I don't get you. I don't get you at all. I'm awfully sorry. I'm sorry.
You need to get out and walk around.
What the hell are you doing?
Trying to help.
Well, knock it off, will you? You're wrinkling the suit. Is the seat taken?
Yours very deadly. This is a good episode, but the most notable part of it is that it introduces Bert Viola to the show, with Ms. DePesto passionately chasing him around the office. Many people were not fond of his character, and in the last show he even makes mention that the show may have carried on longer had he left it. Personally, I am indifferent to his character. It's not great, but not unlikable either.
He said it was, time for more chlorine.
Ms. DePesto, I'd like to see you in my office. And I think David and Mr.
Viola? Herbert Viola?
Herbert Viola might also want to have a conversation as well.
We might? Of course we might. Into the woodshed, Viola. Seems like there's a paddle with your name on it.
The Big Man on Mulberry Street. Another of my top episodes. The dance scene alone stands out. It is well choreographed against the Billy Joel song this episode is named after. The relationship between David and Maddie starts to really peak at this point, in my opinion. Atomic Shakespeare. This is another fan favorite, but it does not rank in my top 10, actually. I dig the iambic pentameter and the thought put into it, but something about it just never grabbed me. The courtyard banter is likable, and Maddie throwing vases is cool too. But David's reference to The Shining is my favorite part.
You'll always be Kate to me. Plain Kate, and Bonnie Kate, and sometimes Kate the Cursed. But Kate, the prettiest Kate, my super dainty Kate. Kate, Kate, bo babe, banana, fana, fo fe, beef, mo mate, Kate.
I warned you, sir, and now you're in for the thrashing of your life.
It's a wonderful job. Now this episode may be my absolute favorite, if not in the top 3. Very well put together Christmas show based on the premise to It's a Wonderful Life. Richard Libertini is great as Maddie's guardian angel, who gives her a tour of what would have happened if she had closed down the agency a few years earlier. DePesto, as her own business owner who demands all employees talk in rhymes, is hysterical. David ending up with Cheryl Tiegs in the alternate timeline is also interesting. Maddie's life taking a downhill spiral leads to her driving her car into a wall at 100 miles per hour, which prompts her life to flash before her eyes. These are represented by quick cut scenes from previous episodes. I watch it every Christmas without fail.
Oh, you call this a rhyme? I've heard better mime. This means your job's precarious. Next time I want hilarious.
You're here because the Mattie Hayes who closed the business 2 years ago came here 9 days before Christmas to forget, to numb herself, to... What is it you were doing in that bar where I found you?
I don't understand. What's she, me, so upset about? There's no business to worry about. No employees to keep in line. No David and DePesto to deal with.
She's gonna kill herself. Ourselves. Me. That's what David and Richard were talking about, isn't it? I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna die. Albert, stop all of this. I don't want to die. I have friends and memories and the future.
Come on, lady, wake up. You okay?
What? What happened? How'd I get back here?
Excuse me? Lady, you haven't budged. You ordered a double and took a sip, and you took a nosedive into the pretzel sticks.
The straight poop. Moonlighting was starting to get a reputation for not having enough new episodes, which was due to multiple reasons. There was a writer's strike going on. Bruce Willis had fractured his collarbone on a ski trip in Idaho, and soon it was announced Sybil Shepherd was pregnant. This was a throw-together episode that basically just played random flashbacks within interviews conducted by columnist Rona Barrett. In the conclusion of the show, Maddie and David assure the viewers there will be a new episode the following week.
Hello.
Hello.
Wow. My goodness, Mr. Pesto, we're looking a little pale today, aren't we? And who have we here?
I don't know. Just came.
Now, no reason to be shy. Let's see a little confidence, a little charisma, a little Dale Carnegie.
Phil, I know we don't know each other, but you don't look like an extortionist to me. You look just like a nice man who's a little distraught, who ought to take a minute and cool down.
She's right, Phil. Come with us. We'll tell Wellman we rescued you and the...
You just seem like a very nice man who's a little distraught, who ought to take a minute and cool down.
She's right, Phil. Stay right there. I got it. Oh. She's right, Phil. Come with us. We'll tell Wellman we rescued... Stay there. She's right. Don't smile. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to say, I'm sad to report that I haven't seen anyone at all of that sort. Not a man who's Chinese with a mole on his nose with some sort of clothes that... I'm sorry to say, I'm sad to report.
I don't think you understand, Richard. Richard, wait a minute! I don't think you understand, Richard. My name is Navarro. That's $100,000 you found, and so been free and I...
Hey. Yo, you, knucklehead. Turn around.
Ready? Okay, I'm ready.
Quiet, please. Keep
Gus,
rolling.
you
Keep
have
rolling.
me.
Here we go. Action.
Hey. I owe you.
Yeah. Well, next time I have somebody I used to sleep with, I'm going to tell him to have you give him the once-over by the girl and the old lady, too.
David, I want to ask you a question. Please be honest. No evasiveness, okay? What happened to your hair?
Blonde on blonde. So here is where Moonlighting starts to jump the shark. This is the first part of a trio of shows that deals with Maddie starting a relationship with an old friend named Sam, played by Agent Gibbs himself, Mark Harmon. David follows Maddie through much of this episode, not knowing he is following the wrong blonde, and he gets himself into all kinds of trouble leading up to being arrested for murder. The episode ends with him showing up at Maddie's to finally profess his love when Sam answers the door. A heartbreaking moment as David is left standing in the rain with flowers in the middle of the night with tears streaming down his face.
A civil war. The black, the blue. I thrust, she parries. I teeter, she totters. Well, that's all over, folks. It's time we both thrust it together. It's time we lay it on the line. Lay it on the bed. Lay it anywhere we damn well want as long as it finally gets done. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. No more fooling around, no more teasing, no more the back and forth parry that we all know is just our way of priming the pump. Tonight, it happens. Tonight, the itch gets scratched. Maddie, I got something to tell you. Now listen, I know it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Can I help you? Hi.
Hi. Maddie's asleep.
Hi, I'm Jeff Jarvis, TV critic for People magazine. Like many of you, I was disappointed. No, make that fed up. No, on third thought, make that enraged with Moonlighting. Reruns, 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 nothing but reruns. I mean, without Moonlighting, what was there to do on Tuesday nights? Watch the Home Shopping Network? Start a family? Read? Well, the crisis is over. Moonlighting's back. Last week, at long last, they gave us a fresh episode. And tonight, they're giving us one that's even fresher. But there's a catch, a hitch, a cruel trick. If you didn't watch last week's show, and you probably didn't bother because you figured it's just another rerun, then you won't know what the hell's happening in tonight's show. But fear not, don't sweat. I have right here a tape of last week's episode, and I'll show you all the good parts. Won't take long.
Sam and Dave. The second part of the Maddie, David, Sam trilogy, where David crashes a dinner date and gets drunk. Almost embarrassing to see David act so pathetic, and it almost lays out the idea that Sam is a better suitor to Maddie than David. The last of this trilogy starts with a TV critic and some random fans being interviewed about their thoughts on the show, none of which seem enthused about the direction it's taking.
Well, she seems to be just fine about flying now. But then I ain't got a car.
Sam?
Oh, you two get around, huh?
Apparently. Don't even think about it, pal. I insist. Hey, come here. You can get the next one, Space Cowboy.
Okay. I only got Martian dollars anyway.
Martian dollars. That's great. That's good. You didn't tell me Luke Skywalker over here has got such a great sense of humor. Hey, I got a great idea. It's not too late. I know this great club. We can go by there. It's open mic night. You get up, you tell a couple of these Martian jokes. You kill them.
David.
What do you say?
That's not really my style.
Come on, where's your sense of adventure? Look, if you're worried about the money, don't worry about it.
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Addison. Your card was refused.
You're terribly sorry, what? Look, my man, I'm trying to buy dinner over here for a nationally famous astronaut. Why don't you go run it back
David,
through the
okay.
machine? No, it's all right, babe. I got it. You should go run it back through the machine.
It's okay.
Well, I'll get you back, Luke.
Yep. I know you will.
I am curious, Maddie. Things come to a head in the finale to the ongoing love triangle. Most notable to me is the garage brawl between David and Sam. Well, not much of a brawl because Addison gets his ass kicked. The barrage in the garage, as David puts it. And of course, things get more soap opera-ish until the finale where Maddie and David, well, you know.
David,
Why don't we just stop?
Get your hands off me, pal.
How about me and you take a walk around the block, huh? You're an ass, you know that.
I just wanted to talk to her.
I want the two of you. Oh, my God. David.
That's me. Mr. Matty. Fight of the century. The barrage in the garage. TKO. SOS. SOB. That's me.
I'm not worth it. I'm not worth it. Look who's talking about worth, Mr. Bargain Basement. If there was a closeout sale on human beings, you'd be the last one to sell.
Yeah, you ought to know, honey.
What does that mean?
I'll tell you what it means. It means you're the kind of person that goes through life looking at the price tag instead of the merchandise. You want some guy who went to a great school, great mug, nice manners. Oh, that's fine. Just fine. Makes sense. Look at you. You're not a person. You're a poster. Well, you deserve another poster.
You're going over the line, David.
You spend more time dressing than you do smiling. You spend more time with business than you do with pleasure.
And your way's better? More time singing than working, more time screwing up than moving up?
Moving up? Is that what you believe in? Spare
Is that
me.
what you believe in, huh? What do you believe in? A good party.
I'll tell you what I don't believe in. I don't believe in wasting any more time. I'm sick of this. 2 years of is you is or is you ain't.
2 years of bees being and ducks ducking in a man who thinks the culture is dark beer. This is ridiculous. I'm miserable.
So am I.
Yeah, well, I may have just let the best thing that ever happened to me get away. And look at me. Here I am, spending the evening having another pointless argument with you.
So it's the next morning, and David is feeling great. But of course, Maddie thinks they did the wrong thing and should make a pact to move on. All of this emotion and confusion with an actual case thrown in the middle. Before we move on to the next season, I just want to note that the show never recovered after David and Maddie slept together, and shows like this from that moment on learned their lesson about putting its leads in bed. Jag was one such show that was able to keep the sexual tension alive for a decade before finally putting its lead stars together in the final episode. That's the way to do it, folks.
Woke up this morning, my head was so bad. It was the worst hangover that I ever did have. What's up, boys? It wasn't a wine I had me too much of. It was a double shot of my baby love. Yeah, yeah.
David.
David. Yeah.
Could I have a minute of your time, please?
Take two. They're small.
A Trip to the Moon. Season 4 starts with Maddie still confused on things and inevitably leaving on a plane for Chicago, where she will remain for more than half the season, leaving behind a lovesick David. The season tries to keep the spirit of fun that fans like, noting that in this one they use the honeymooners as leverage for the humor. But over the course of this season, David's anguish grows to a point where the show becomes just another soap opera of nighttime television.
Gosh, Ed, what should we do?
I don't know. Hey, maybe we could take a couple of those kitchen chairs there, put them next to the bedroom door, and we could hear better.
You want me to stop yelling, Alice? You want me to stop yelling? I'll stop yelling. I'll stop yelling. I'm not the one that's yelling. I'm not yelling, Alice. You hear me? Do you hear me, Alice?
Of course I hear you, Ralph. All 5 boroughs hear you. Hi, Ed. Hi, Trixie.
Norton? Trixie? What are you doing here? Can't you see we're having a fight?
Oh, don't mind us.
You happy now, Ralph? You woke up Norton and Trixie.
Oh, no, you didn't wake us up. We were out for our evening constitutional there.
Well, you woke me up. Why are you kids fighting?
You want to know why we're fighting? You want to know why we're fighting? I'll tell you why we're fighting. I will tell you why we are fighting.
I don't know why we're fighting.
You know why we're fighting, Ralph. We're fighting because I asked you a question. Is that such a crime, Ralph, me asking you a question?
Get a load of Miss Smarty Pants here.
That's such a crime, Ralph, asking a question.
Tell him what the question was, Miss Smarty Pants.
All right, I will. I told him I wanted to know where our relationship was going.
That's it. You see that? You see that? She wants to know where the relationship is going. She has the unmitigated gall to ask me where the relationship is going. You want to know where the relationship is going? You want to know where the relationship is going. I'll tell you where it's going. It's going to the moon.
Come back, little Shiksa. David realizes Maddie is gone and wants to come to Chicago against her wishes, which are made clear in a very entertaining claymation scene. Also in this one, David works on a case for John Goodman, and then, having a temper tantrum, crashes up Maddie's car in the garage.
How the hell are you, Maddie?
Don't do it, David. You promised me you wouldn't call.
Maddie? You think I'd get used to these dream sequences by now? I'm coming out there, Maddie.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. You're not, you're not, you're not. And I'm not coming back there. Not now, not yet. Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Might want to turn the burners down. Your yolks are getting hard.
I know how hard this is for you, David.
No. No, you don't. You're not here. I can't talk to you. I can't help. We should be doing this thing together.
But we can't. I'm sorry. That's just not my way. I have to get away by myself. To think and be sure.
Yeah, well, maybe that's your problem. Maybe you think too much.
Maybe you don't think enough. In fact, maybe that's our problem.
No, that's not our problem. That's not the way it works. You don't go away and think about getting better at the piano. You just bang away again and again and again.
Maybe if you could think a little more about the situation, maybe if in fact you could think at all about anything beyond the general vicinity of your belt, you'd have an inkling that a no-account, irresponsible legend in your own mind like you has no place even dreaming about a future with the likes of me. In fact, where do you get off even asking if we... Wait a minute. You're putting words in my mouth. You're turning me into... Addison, I'm a witch.
If the broom fits.
What did you say?
You heard me.
Addison, this isn't fair. You can't turn me into anything you want. You can't make me say anything you want me to say.
Sure I can. For your information, I'm in control here. This is my fantasy.
Oh, yeah?
All right. I'm impressed. She turned me into a horny toad. Hey, back off, will you? You win. I'm sorry. Okay?
I'm sorry, but I can't help the way I feel. Just like you can't help the way you feel. But you have to let me feel it and deal with it my own way. Please?
Do what you gotta do. Maddie?
I miss you too.
Maddie!
No, Roberta.
It's not every day you get involved with people who die, but
really don't. Just convincingly fake their deaths for another purpose.
Obviously, this woman's never seen the show. And they lived happily ever after. Big deal.
Morning, Mr. Addison.
Doc, Agnes? Any calls?
No, Mr. Addison. No one called.
My kind of day. No messages to return. Cheer up, gang o' mine. It's turning out to be another beautiful day. Herbert, put the heap in his shop. She's running a little rough.
Father knows last. By this point, David knows Maddie is pregnant and she claims it is not his. Meanwhile, David has been letting things go at the agency and the company is facing foreclosure. To make matters worse, Mr. Hayes comes to town thinking it's David's baby and asks about his commitment. David says his piece in what I think is some of Bruce Willis's best acting ever. Mr. Hayes accepts his side of the story and gives him the money to get the agency back and running.
I was on my way to Chicago. I had a ticket. I had my bags packed. I get a call from her on the answering machine telling me she loves me because I'm not showing up.
Oh, so she tells you what to do, you do it, she names
No,
the
that's not
I think
it at
we
all.
have to get it straight. Who's running from whom and from what?
Well, as long as we're getting things straight, let's get this straight. Whether you or your daughter know it or not, I'm the best thing that ever happened to her. You did a great job. You taught her how to tie her shoelaces, but I'm the one that taught her it's okay to run barefoot once in a while.
Big clam bake for you.
No, this is not a clam bake
if
at
you
all.
run my daughter's business.
I am not
into
running
the
your daughter's
ground.
business into the ground.
I'm not blind, and I'm not stupid. I was willing to accept all that, but not this. Watching you move on to the next blonde and
Mr.
shirking
Hayes.
your duty as far as my daughter and her child are concerned. I wouldn't have you for a son-in-law. It's bad enough that you're the father of my grandchild.
Maybe I'm not the father of your grandchild.
You'd do anything. You'd try anything, wouldn't you? If I were 20 years younger, I'd knock you on your ass.
Come on. What, the girl with the rose-colored gray matter doesn't believe I can get us back in the ball game? What are we talking about here? A file cabinet here, a worker bee over there, another dumb blonde in the office?
Don't do that! Don't you dare talk about Miss Hayes like that! She wouldn't let this happen! Oh, I used to think you were the greatest boss in the world. But for weeks now, you've been letting yourself go to hell, and you've been taking all the rest of us with you. So if you think I'm gonna stand here and make you feel better about ruining everything we had, you're wrong! You did this to Blue Moon!
Now, there it is. Knew it was coming. The old Hayes backside. Answer to any and all problems. You know what your problem is, Mr. Hayes? You're afraid there is another side to all this and you're not man enough to hear it.
Okay, I'm listening.
I'm sorry about this afternoon. About what I said, about the way I said it. Believe it or not, out of this whole mess, we got a dead heat between things that I did right and things that I did wrong. Do you have any idea how I feel about your daughter? Do you? I work with her there in the same office every day. Every day I see another guy come in and tell me his wife packed the car, left him forever, and he wants us to get the car back. And I look over at her. There she is, just sitting there. 4 billion people in the world, half of them built for comfort, and I gotta pick this one to want to grow old with. But that's not good enough for Maddie. She needs time. I gotta wait for this one. And maybe you're right. Maybe she's right. Maybe I am wrong, but I don't think so. I have had to chop myself up into little pieces, my pride, my personality, everything that I am into little squares for this woman. I tried to wear the white hat. I go over her house one night, heart on my sleeve, cards on the table. I'm gonna tell her I love her, I wanna marry her, I wanna promise her the moon, and excuse me, there is another man there. That's right. There's another man there. It's okay, this is the 80s, so I waited. I waited for her to make up her mind whether she wants him or she wants me, and she finally does, or so I thought. We spent a great month together. I wake up one morning and she is gone. Boom, out. Just like that. Next thing I hear, she's at your house in Chicago. The next news bulletin I hear is that she's pregnant with a baby that may or may not be mine. Okay, she's confused. She wants to go away. She doesn't know who the father is. I understand that. But she wasn't even going to tell me. So what did I do? What did I do? I get on my horse, sound the bugle, and go fight the fight? No. I go home and I wait. Because she tells me to. I wait and I wait and I wait. And you know why? Because I love her. Because I am crazy about her. Marry her? Hell yes, I'd marry her. I asked her. She said no. So don't come around here making me the villain. Don't blame this on me. Marry her. Do I love her? Mr. Hayes, I would give up my life for her. It's over. All this craziness, this whole attitude, it's all done. I didn't come here to tell you that your daughter is a bad guy. But I'm not a bad guy either. You said to me today I was giving up on Maddie and the baby. No, I wasn't. I wasn't giving up on them. I was giving up on myself. Well, that's done. That is over. If this thing's gonna work, this whole relationship, this whole thing with me and her, the baby, all of it, it's gonna work. She's gotta come talk to me now. Thank you for listening.
Fetal attraction. David decides he wants to help Maddie through the pregnancy and wants to join a Lamaze class. He is partnered with a husbandless woman named Terry Knowles, played by Brooke Adams. For what it's worth at this point, Maddie should just stay in Chicago and Addison should shack up with this chick because they make a nice couple. But interesting to see a mature version of David in this episode.
She's not?
No, she's in Chicago. But see, that's not really important. The important thing is that when she does decide to commit, I want to know all this. I want to be the best father that I can be.
You know, I really wish every father wanted to be as involved as you do. But this is about couples going through pregnancy together, helping each other. Once in a while, we get a single mother who may want to have natural childbirth. But a father without a mother, I don't know. I'm afraid you and the other class members would feel a little awkward.
Well, I guess there's no sense in continuing this.
I'm really sorry.
Me too. Nice to meet you.
Good luck. Okay, people. I want to begin with some stretching exercises today.
Track of my tears. Finally, Maddie's headed back to LA and on the train ride has a dream she is not in control of her life. The train then crashes through the office, killing everyone. That is about the only memorable part of this episode.
Some way out.
A spouse. Maddie is now back and lays it on old Dave that she met a guy on the train and they got married on the way back. The best part of this one is David tells her she is certifiable with the documents up on the wall and everything.
You serious? Wait a minute. I don't believe you.
It's true.
It's true, huh?
Why can't you just dig deep down inside and find something nice to say?
Nice? You want me to say something nice? Well, the actual, honest to God, telling you what the Lord loves truth is, I don't know what to say. Mrs.
Bishop, Walter Bishop.
Just testing.
So that's it? 3.5 years together and that's the way you're going to act? You can't say something nice.
Like what?
How about congratulations?
You know what? You are undeniably, certifiably, categorically, got the documents up on the wall and everything, nuts.
Mattie Hayes got married. This one has a lot going on in it, such as David wants to throw Mattie an unofficial wedding, and it starts by giving Mattie's new husband, Walter Bishop, a bachelor party. Bert could not get a woman to jump out of the cake, so he dresses in drag to do it himself. The next morning, everyone is hungover in time for the wedding. During the ceremony, Terry goes into labor, and things get crazy from there.
I hereby decree that the royal order of the Yellow Napkin Heads is hereby adjourned. Oh. Oh, no. How hideous.
For help and comfort given one another in prosperity and adversity, and when it is God's will for the procreation of children.
Whoa! I'm sorry.
Into this holy union.
Oh, I think it's time to go, David. I'm sorry. Please, continue. I just have to go.
It's okay. Everything's under control.
What? What is under control, David? Who is that woman and what is going on?
Look, I wish I could stop and explain all of this, but I'm afraid I'm about to have a baby.
Baby?
Yes, a baby.
A baby?
A baby? Yeah, a baby.
Yeah, so, excuse the interruption. Just take it from the downbeat, Rev. We'll just slip out quietly and tell you all about it tomorrow.
I'd like to know whose baby she's having.
Her own. Look, this isn't a dry run. This is condition red. Her water broke.
Well, I'm coming.
No, you're not. No, you're not. First of all, you're not invited. And second of all, you can't just walk out on all these extras. They're paid for. I'm having a baby.
May I help you?
We're having a baby.
Doctor?
No, private investigator.
Why do I think you're all together?
I'm with her. Look, why don't you take Shira outside and get her some air, huh?
Are you a father for a baby?
No, I'm only the husband.
I want some answers, David. You owe me some
But I don't owe
answers.
you anything. Just leave. This is not your party. Just
Yeah,
take
right.
your hands
Well,
off.
that's
I've been
my
working
party.
for you.
Humiliating.
Humiliating.
Serious, I
Well,
can't
then you get
imagine.
to the delivery room. Like a cow loves his
Okay.
like a boss loves his
I
country.
hate you!
Oh, good. That'll make this easy. Get your ass out of here. Come on, you're almost through. Short. Now give me a deep cleansing breath. Maybe you didn't hear me. I said get out of here.
Maybe you didn't hear me. I want some answers.
Scram.
Talk.
Talk? What is there to talk about? You keep me hanging for 4 months. You use my guts for a mop. And then, what do? What do you tell me? You say, the baby's not yours, and I'm married to somebody else. What else is there to say?
Do you love her?
Oh, here comes another one. Are you kidding? How could he love me? He's crazy about you.
I am not. I hate her. Give me 3 shorts and a long. Here we go. Short, 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 long. Try it. Short.
She's fully
short.
dilated. Don't let her push till
All
I
right,
get a
good.
doctor.
Short, short,
So do you love him?
Of course she does. She's crazy about him. Well, you are.
I am not.
She is not.
I hate him.
See, she hates me. I hate her, too.
Yeah.
You do not.
I do too.
She does, too.
How you do not?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Now, give me 3.
Love him. I
Short,
loathe
short.
him. He is conceited and unfeeling. He's as sensitive as a toilet seat and almost as warm. And since the day he walked in here, he's done nothing but make me miserable.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Are you just going to take this?
I've been taking this for almost 4 years. The only thing I can't figure out is how much money you had to pay Wally here to close his eyes, hold his nose, to get him to live in the same house with you.
How dare you?
Nothing daring about it. It was pure pleasure.
David Addison, you're the most
Oh, watch her.
disgusting
Here she goes.
creature in
Yeah,
God's
this is her
world.
daily explosion of
You
fire.
belong to
She's
my
the old
life,
faithful
and the
trap.
only reason
Well,
I
I
came
ain't
back
taking
here
it
from
anymore.
Chicago is to
The only
tell
reason
you
I
so.
came back
And
here to
now
look
that
you in
I've
the eye
told
and
you
tell you
so,
that
I'm going
myself.
right out that door, and
Good.
you're never,
But you know
ever
what?
gonna
We
see
are
me
done.
again.
Finished.
Because we are done.
Done.
Finished. Over.
Good.
Great.
Goodbye.
Gone.
Go.
Good riddance.
For God's sake, will you two kiss already?
And the flesh was made word. Of course, fans were not about to have this Walter Bishop character come in and ruin the show by being married to Mattie. After the wedding is annulled in this episode, he even looks at the audience and says,
You happy now?
Later, Mattie seems to want to be with David again, but he is not interested in the slightest, having moved on from the silliness she put him through. The clean slate speech is definitely wonderful. Bravo, David.
Can't we just forget the past? Start with a clean slate?
You want a clean slate? Come on. Come on, we'll talk about clean slates. I'm not the one that left in the middle of the night for Chicago for 4.5 months. I'm not the one that met some guy on a train and married him. And I'm not the one that divorced him a week later. I got a clean slate, okay? All I did was show up and wait. And then wait some more. And I'm still here. I never left. So don't talk to me about commitment. And for God's sake, stop asking me how I feel about you. Do you want to know how I feel about you? If a guy did to me what you did to me, I'd have knocked his teeth down his throat. You still have your incisors. So I guess that means I still must care. But I don't have to like it. I don't really like any of this. But yeah, I'm gonna be here when the baby comes. I'm gonna help you through that. And I guess that means that I have some kind of commitment to you. But you gotta stop talking to me about clean slates and about commitments and about how I feel about you. I have some things to do, so I'm gonna go now. Unlike you, I will be back. There's cookies and milk in the fridge, movie money on the table. While I am gone, whatever you do, don't leave, don't marry somebody else, and don't divorce him.
A Womb with a View. Season 5 starts off with DePesto talking on the phone and explaining how the show was canceled for bad ratings, and then perks up when the camera rolls in to show the fans had come back. A little song and dance ensues, and we go into this gem of an episode where baby Hayes is inside the womb being prepared to enter the world and shown the difference between good and evil. The ending is sad, but that being said, the show was free to go back to solving cases and try to redevelop the chemistry that made it work in the beginning. Unfortunately, it never happens.
Some of them said you might not want to, but I knew you'd come. You would not come. You could not come. And now you're here, our audience. Mwah! Hey, everybody, look. Our audience. Look. Oh, this is great. This is the best. This is...
Good and evil, that's what you see. That's what you're looking at. The Creator has chosen, for reasons I won't pretend to understand, to endow each man with a heart capable of divine goodness and extraordinary evil. It's a choice each person makes on his own, but whatever choice a person makes has an impact on the rest of the world. Open your eyes. From the moment life began until this moment now, men have embraced evil with a ferociousness unexpected by even the Creator. The capacity to destroy, hurt, maim, and even kill flies in the face of everything one might reasonably expect of human behavior. Greed, lust, jealousy, hatred, stupidity, anger. These are the fuels of a wayward heart, and they are in abundant supply in the world you're about to enter. But remember, not only are Maddie and David your parents, but all men and women are your brothers and sisters, and the world is all your collective home. And now you may really open your eyes.
Yes? Oh, my.
What?
Call in. Stay back. Stay back. All right.
This is a really terrible thing. I'm just so glad you're okay. I was so scared. I'm just glad you're okay.
Why couldn't it have worked out?
It just wasn't meant to be.
It's probably better this way. I mean, can you imagine me trying to be a mother?
Me trying to be a father.
You would have made a great father. Eventually. Lousy husband, though. But a great dad.
Between a yuck and a hard place. What stands out to me in this episode is that neither David nor Maddie want to talk about the miscarriage, and they both seem to ignore each other. They both get stuck in an elevator all night, to which they have no choice but to confront each other and let it all out. To me, that is a great moment in the series.
friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and grief to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer.
Coming for to carry me home.
Home.
A band of angels coming after me.
Coming for to carry me home.
A band of angels coming after me. Coming for to carry me home.
Hit it, Byron. Swing
low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low. Morning, Mr. Pesto. How'd you sleep?
Great. You?
Lousy.
But great.
Terrific.
Shirts and skins. This was a decent episode, as it pits the men against the women on a case. One highlight is Maddie actually crawling above the ceiling to get into David's locked office to see what kind of files he has on the case, while playing the theme to the Pink Panther in the background.
And this is the one time I don't like
I apologize for breaking
me
in your
your
office.
apologies if you're
Spare
not
me
gonna
your
spare
coy
me your
dinner
sermons.
invitations. What you did was criminal.
Criminal? How about if I have you arrested for breaking into my office?
Well, how about you don't have any office anymore because you're fired?
Again? You can't fire me.
Well, then you're suspended indefinitely without pay.
How about this option? I quit and you're fired.
Ugh!
I don't know who the hell you put your dog to be telling me I'm fired. What am I, suspended without pay? I said, excuse me, here's a new option for you. I fire you. You're fired. I quit. You understand what I'm saying? She didn't know what hit her. She know what hit her.
Those lips, those lies. This is one of my least favorite episodes where plot is concerned, but the fact that Al Jarreau was not told the show moved to Sunday nights meant the opening song was being played with no vocals. The rest of the cast finds out about this and tries to fill in with laughable results.
Anybody seen Al Jarreau?
David, come on. We're ready to start the show.
You can't start the show without the theme music, and Al Jarreau is not here.
Really?
Yes, really.
That's not like Al.
Seen it?
Wait a minute. Did someone tell Al about the move to Sunday night?
The lady asked a question.
That's a negative, Miss Hayes.
Roll the credits.
What are you gonna do?
Come walk by night. Come fly by day.
Hold it.
What?
These people just ate a very large meal out there. You're gonna put them in a coma singing like that. Roll the tape.
Come walk by night.
What?
Got it.
I'm like the new Perry Como.
I know, this is wonderful, but if you're going to sing like that, you should join a garage band.
You don't like the way I sing?
Can't you hear the dogs all across America howling?
Part of the final few shows, this one starts with David dropping his jaw over a striking brunette in the elevator he is riding. Of course, that's no ordinary brunette. It's Demi Moore, to whom he was already married. This episode also introduces Maddie's cousin Annie, played by Candyman's Virginia Madsen, who will stir up a little relationship with David.
That's a very nice dress you have on. I like that.
Ein Klein Nacht Murder. This is a very good episode and starts with Maddie almost being stabbed to death by a killer in a garage. Very intense in how it was filmed, and you can actually feel like she's in real danger during the sequence. Meanwhile, David continues to date Maddie's married cousin.
David.
Maddie. I'm so glad to see you in one piece.
Well, I'm glad to be in one piece.
Any word on the Fruit Loops that tried to pierce your ears?
Not yet.
Lunar Eclipse. So ABC canceled Moonlighting, and they used their last episode to tie up loose ends, like David breaking it off with Maddie's cousin and Agnes and Bert getting married. In the last 10 minutes, they return to the office to find the set being dismantled because they are about to be canceled. Maddie and David furiously run around trying to find out what they can do to avoid this, but to no avail. The show ends with some clips of the series and notes that the Anselmo case was never solved and is a mystery to this day.
I gotta get some work done, so you want to have him bring the stuff back in?
You don't know, do you?
No, what?
Somebody from current programs is supposed to call you. I guess that's my NBC's #1, huh? I don't know how to tell you this, but you're canceled.
What?
Bert, what happened?
He's dead, sir. He told me that he had a heart condition. But I didn't believe him.
Well, let's call an ambulance. Won't do any good. Wasn't heart failure. He just doesn't have any more scenes.
This is all my fault. If I had done the honorable thing and left the show, none of this none of this would have happened.
Now get hold of yourself, Bert. This is just some weird, unfunny dream sequence.
Bert! What happened?
Just the end of the world as we know it, Miss Hayes.
What?
Let me go! There's nothing I can do. Let me go! I don't want to be canceled.
Oh, I'm glad you're here.
Let me go!
Come on, we gotta get out of
What
here.
the hell's going on?
We got canceled.
What?
Look, I don't have time to explain it to you now, but in 6 minutes and 14 seconds, we will cease to exist as television characters.
Well, where's our furniture? What's happening to our view? Where's Red taking our view?
Well, now there's no need to get your drawers in a bunch.
Once and for all. Finally and forever. Warts and all.
Warts? I haven't touched a frog in weeks.
Quirks. Faults.
Warts? I haven't touched a frog in
Quirks,
weeks.
faults, faults.
Well, you were right on that cue, though. Warts? I haven't touched
Quirks,
a frog in
faults.
weeks.
I can't say that line.
Don't bulldoze a bulldozer. And don't kid a kidder. Because I know you. I know who you are. And I know what's going on in that honeycombed beehive of a
The head.
head of yours.
Big hat you got on.
Honey blonde noggin.
You do.
Sure I do. Sure, you dames are all alike. I'm poison to you, see? Poison. Come on, Maddie. Don't bulldoze a bulldozer. And don't kid a kidder. I know you. I know who you are. And I know what's going on in that honey blonde noggin of yours.
You do.
Absolutely, because even though your sweet little lips are saying, David, I'm not mad, your little hands want to get around my neck and choke me for coming in late. Hank and Sissy, we're from the high school reunion committee. We're the skip squats. Well, I'm Hank. This is Sissy. We're from the high school. Whew. Well, I'm Hank, and this is Sissy. We're from the high school reunion committee. We're in Tina's... Ho. It's gonna take a lot more than some clown with a diddy fecky.
Did it.
Ho. Ho.
Do you have any idea where we might locate her?
You can't. My sister's dead. I see you're real broken up about it. Thanks.
Do you have any idea how that makes me feel? Betraying my husband for the man who butchered him?
Feel pretty bad, I guess, huh? You son of a...
Man, catch go.
Yeah, that's good luck. Is there poop on me? Peculiar weather we're having here.
Just a side note, the Anselmo case came about around season 4 as Bert makes mention of it to Agnes, and then there's only slight mentions to it throughout season 5. Seems to just have been a running gag. For me, the factors I always look out for, because it became part of the formula, was Maddie saying they're not taking the case, every time they talk at the same time, every time they broke the fourth wall, Agnes doing a rhyme, every time David came into the office drunk or hungover, and Maddie saying she's calling the police. You could probably make a good drinking game from all these. Legacy. In the late 90s, Moonlighting came back to television with repeats being telecast on the Bravo network. The show made its way to DVD around the mid-2000s, but is now out of print. But you can find all the seasons on eBay for a few pretty pennies. I read recently in an interview with Glenn Caron, they are having issues bringing Moonlighting back due to some music licensing issues. In fact, some of the music is altered in the DVD volumes I bought 20 years ago, which were different from when they were first telecast. There have been websites devoted to Moonlighting as well, a few of which I was a part of in the early 2000s. There was moonlightingstrangers.com and davidandmaddie.com. Bruce Willis himself had created his own website around this time, and all of us from these websites had been able to chat with him in a private room from time to time. He always went by the name B-Dub, and his screen name was King B, but he liked being called B-Dub. Fans have also been talking about a Moonlighting reunion, but as we know now, for sure, that will never happen with Bruce Willis retiring from acting. Final comments. The series managed to last for 5 seasons, never reaching a full season of episodes, but what shows did air every Tuesday night was television magic, save for the few episodes focusing only around DePesto and Bert. Just kidding. I must admit, I always wanted to mold my own personality after the fun-loving yet juvenile David Addison. So what are your thoughts on Moonlighting? Drop me a comment below, and if you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel, as I hope to have more television assessments coming soon. Thanks for watching.
There are 2 new faces coming to Tuesday night.
So you two are going to be on Tuesday nights, huh? Yeah, hope you guys can cut it.
Remember, Tuesday nights are pretty hot around here.
Well, don't worry, we won't let you down.
Better not. Do you remember everything we taught him?
Well, sure he does. Of course he does, Balky.
Does an ant farm? Does a picket fence? Hey, oh, Angela, check me in. There she was, just walking down the street.
Perfect Strangers, the perfect comedy on the perfect night starting tomorrow.